In February 1971, just outside the city of San Juan, Argentina, five family members were driving on a dirt rural road at night. The individuals were on their way to visit La Difunta Correa, a shrine to a legendary Latin American figure said to have performed miracles while she was alive. On a curvy, hilly road in front of them, the five witnesses would suddenly see a bright white light. They believed it must have been an accident or something else. However, as they would learn, the light was originating from something unexplainable. In today's episode, we will examine the terrifying events surrounding that night and the possible alien abduction many think happened. On their way to La Difunta Correa, Carlos Gimenez, a pseudonym, was driving with both his sisters next to him in the front seat. Carlos' brother and his father were in the back seat. As they drove down the isolated rural road, they saw in the distance a light. As mentioned, initially they believed it must have been an accident and kept driving for some time. However, for the next hour, the light could always be seen. It was a good distance away from them, but not close enough to allow them to know specifically what it was. The light kept steady and remained the same distance from their car. Then, completely unexpectedly, the light began approaching their car extremely fast. At this point, Carlos believed that it was a large truck headed towards them. However, the light was too bright. It lit up the surrounding area like it was daytime. At this point, only around 10 feet away, the car lost power and it rolled onto the side of the road. At this point, the five individuals were terrified. They could see the bright light, but there was nothing behind it. Carlos's dad and Carlos got out of the car. Both had firearms and wanted to inspect the light further. Carlos's dad decided to approach the light from behind. Carlos would stay back next to the car, and the other three family members remained inside the vehicle. At some time, when Carlos and his dad were outside, all three individuals in the car were put in some sort of deep sleep state. Soon, though, Carlos's sister, Ana, seemed to wake up from the weird trance. After she woke up, she noticed a very tall humanoid in bright white clothing approaching the car. It then stopped next to her window and peered in. She stated the being appeared peaceful and had a very kind face. She was terrified, and she screamed for the being not to take her sister. Perhaps even more horrifying, as she was screaming, she remembers the being touching her sister's hair. While this was occurring, Carlos recalled that he could not move from standing next to the car. It was as if he was being controlled. Ana would recall later, though, two figures, the same in appearance as the one standing next to her window, dragged Carlos's dad toward the light. Carlos's dad was resisting, but the entities were able to still pull him. Carlos, in the meantime, seemed to also be in some sort of trance-like state and wasn't aware that his father was actually being dragged away. Around 3 minutes later, the light began to dim and then move backwards in the same direction it had been before. The entire area went completely pitch black. Carlos and his dad got back in the car, and the five continued their trip. As they kept driving, they eventually stopped at a gas station. There, they asked if anyone had seen any other lights or large trucks on the road. No one had seen anything. Sometime later, Ana would undergo hypnotic regression by UFO investigators. She would remember more details, which terrified her even more. However, the regressions helped her achieve a sense of peace about the incident. So did this group of five witness a UFO and experience an alien abduction, it's generally believed by most UFO investigators who have examined this case that some sort of close encounter of the fourth kind or alien abduction took place during this encounter. The case has all the characteristics of an abduction. For example, we see lights occurring many times when alien abduction cases occur. Also, it seems strange that all five witnesses appear to have either gone into a deep sleep and can't remember specifics around what happened once the light got closer. In addition, the car engine dying is a similar trait we see in other alleged alien abduction cases. Skeptics might quickly dismiss the case, as some of the names used are pseudonyms. In addition, much of the case relies upon hypnotic regression therapy. It's long been said that those sessions can produce false memories and are not a reliable indicator of something happening. Many speculate that ideas can be planted in these individuals during these sessions. In addition, skeptics might point out there's no physical evidence that anything occurred. Still, like other alien abduction cases, it typically relies strongly on the witness's statement and memories. We do know that the car that night died for no reason while the bright white light came closer. In conclusion, it appears we have quite a bit of circumstantial evidence, but not the hard, concrete evidence many want.